Hi, this is Bill Brewer. Thank you for joining me for the readings from the Catholic Lectionary for the 23rd Monday in Ordinary Time and my reflection on those readings. The first reading today is from Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, it is widely reported that there is immorality among you, and immorality of a kind not found even among the pagans, a man living with his father's wife. I, for my part, have already, as if present, pronounced judgment on the one who has committed this deed in the name of our Lord Jesus. The one who did this deed should be expelled from your midst, so that his spirit may be saved on the day of the Lord. Do you not know that a little yeast leavens all the dough? And now the reading from the Gospel of St. Luke. On a certain Sabbath, Jesus went into the synagogue and taught, and there was a man whose right hand was withered. Jesus said to them, I ask you, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath rather than to do evil? Looking around at them all, he then said to the man, Stretch out your hand. He did so, and his hand was restored. What's the worst thing you can imagine for yourself personally? Well, obviously, hell would be the worst. For me, a close second is being in heaven without the ones I love with me. There are two theologically correct answers to my concern. First, I should not assume that I will make it to heaven. None of us should. Second, if I do make it, God assures me of perfect happiness regardless of who is with me. But these answers only make me feel a little bit better about my concern. I suspect that St. Paul would have understood. People criticize Catholics for judging acts of other people to be wrong. Paul would absolutely reject the modern view of moral relativity, saying that the man living with his father's wife is living his truth, and it is none of our business. In addition to judging the acts of this man to be sinful, Paul judges the man. Paul says, through the analogy of a little yeast radically changing a large amount of dough, that accepting the man's immoral conduct would encourage others to sin in the same way. Rather than accepting him, Paul says, expel him from your community for the sake of his ultimate good and the good of others, so that he may be saved on his judgment day. Thus it appears that one part of getting into heaven is avoiding sinful or immoral conduct. Another part we learn from our gospel today are when Jesus tells us that we need to do good. The good we do helps us both in this life and in the life to come. The question today's readings raise for me, for the concern I raised earlier, is whether doing good and moral things without faith in Jesus Christ and the church he established on earth will be good enough to get a person into heaven. The teaching of the Catholic Church is that under certain circumstances, doing good and moral things and following what you believe to be good can, by itself, get us into heaven. That makes me feel better.